It's Patrik Hutzel from Intensive Care at Home, where we provide tailor-made solutions for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies and otherwise medically complex patients by improving their quality of life, and where we also provide tailor-made solutions to hospitals and intensive care units, reducing the cost of an intensive care bed by 50% whilst providing quality care. In last week's blog, I talked about Mikey can leave ICU and go home with ICU and pediatric ICU nurses after a 16-month stay in intensive care. You can check out last week's blog by clicking on the link below this video. In this week's blog, I want to announce a new service we're providing for our clients in Australia. Support coordination and complex/specialist support coordination. So, having participated in many NDIS planning meetings for our clients, a very concerning and recurring theme occurred over and over again. So the NDIS is the National Disability Insurance Scheme, which has been rolled out now in most parts of Australia. When we asked the support coordinators or the NDIS planners what made them qualified to make potential life or death decisions about clients with tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, non-invasive mask ventilation needs such as BiPAP or CPAP, and other medically complex conditions such as seizures, we got only awkward silence. When digging deeper, we found that support coordinators and NDIS planners simply lack the skills and expertise when it comes to the aforementioned medical conditions such as tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, non-invasive and mask ventilation such as BiPAP or CPAP, or otherwise medically complex conditions. We therefore found that our service, Intensive Care at Home, of course, has the necessary skills and expertise that is needed to manage the complex environment when it comes to tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, as well as non-invasive mask ventilation needs such as BiPAP or CPAP and other medically complex conditions such as seizures, for example. So if your loved one has a tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, or requires non-invasive mask ventilation such as BiPAP or CPAP and has been referred to the NDIS, you are entitled to a support coordinator. You are entitled to have a support coordinator if you or your loved one has a complex medical condition such as regular seizures, cerebral palsy, etc. as well. Many NDIS-approved organizations offer support coordination. Very few, if any, have the skills, expertise, and experience needed to understand the clinical needs when it comes to tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, or non-invasive mask ventilation such as BiPAP, CPAP, as well as other medically complex conditions such as seizures. Again, tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, BiPAP or CPAP ventilation, as well as other complex conditions such as seizures, require the skills of an intensive care nurse. Here at Intensive Care at Home, we are employing hundreds of years of intensive care nursing experience, and you'll be in the best of hands when it comes to tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, non-invasive mask ventilation, such as BiPAP or CPAP, and other medically complex conditions such as seizures. No other service in Australia can offer the expertise that we can offer in these highly specialized areas. We have acquired decades of experience when it comes to tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, or non-invasive ventilation such as BiPAP or CPAP, as well as other medically complex conditions such as seizures. And we therefore have experience as well as intellectual property in our service that is unmatched by other service providers. This is not only verified by our case studies, but it's also verified by our third-party accreditation when it comes to intensive home care nursing, including mechanical ventilation and tracheostomy. You can find out more about our accreditation and quality management by checking out our accreditation and quality section on our website. We also have successfully helped clients to get funding for nursing care instead of the NDIS funding for support workers. When it comes to tracheostomy, mechanical ventilation, non-invasive ventilation such as BiPAP or CPAP, as well as other medically complex conditions such as seizures, we can help you to successfully manage this complex environment of funding and get the best outcomes for you, for your loved one, and for your family. For more information, please contact us on Melbourne number 0386582138 or call me directly on 041 094 2230 or simply send me an email to patrick@intensivecareathome.com. That's Patrik, Patrik. And if you want to find out how we can help you to get your loved one out of intensive care, including palliative care or long-term acute care, also out of nursing home, or if you find that you have insufficient support for your loved one at home on a ventilator, if you want to know how to get funding for our service, or if you have any questions, please again contact me on one of the numbers on the top of the website, or call me or send me an email to Patrik, Patrik@intensivecareathome.com. We are also currently hiring ICU and pediatric ICU nurses for clients in the Melbourne metropolitan area and in South Gippsland, Victoria. We are an NDIS, TAC, Department of Veteran Affairs, as well as Department of Health approved community service provider in Australia. Also, have a look at our range of full service provisions at our service section. We have also been part of the Royal Melbourne Health Accelerator program for innovative healthcare companies. Thank you for tuning into this week's blog. This is Patrik Hutzel from Intensive Care at Home, and I'll see you again next week in another update.